Hey, if you're watching this, thanks. I'm not telling this for attention. I'm telling it because I don't sleep anymore. And I think that's the only reason it hasn't come back. My name's Sean. I'm 29. A year ago, I moved into a big old house in Massachusetts. Not by choice, really. Shared with 2 roommates. The house was huge, creaky, beautiful in a falling apart kind of way. From the start, there was a rule. Never open the door at the end of the hall. I laughed when they told me. I thought it was a joke, a way to haze the new guy, but they didn't laugh back. Mark, the older of the 2, just looked me dead in the eyes and said, "It was locked when we moved in, and it stays locked." I asked what was inside. He said, "Nothing. And it needs to stay that way." I let it go. We had our rooms, a working kitchen, and as long as that door stayed shut, I didn't care. But I noticed things. At night, the hallway always felt colder near that door. I'd walk by and feel this drop in temperature, like standing in front of an open freezer. The rest of the house was warm, but that spot, it was dead. Sometimes I thought I heard movement, not from behind the door, from inside the walls near it. Soft scraping, like nails dragging gently across wood. Once, I thought I heard whispering, not words, just breath and syllables that had no shape. I told myself it was pipes, rats, old house sounds, until one night, I found the door open, just an inch. But it had never been opened before, and there was no key. I called out to my roommates. No answer. The house was silent. The hallway was darker than usual, the bulb above flickering, then dying completely. I stepped forward. The cold hit me first, like I'd walked into a freezer wrapped in wet cloth, the kind of cold that makes your teeth ache. I reached for the doorknob, but before I could touch it, it opened wider, all on its own, just a slow creak, enough to see into the darkness beyond. And something was in there. Not moving, not breathing, just present. Like it had been waiting. I ran, locked my bedroom door, didn't sleep, and in the morning the door was closed, like nothing had happened. I tried to tell Mark. He looked pale, quiet. Then he said, "It knows you saw it now." After that night, I started noticing things. The hallway light, the one outside that door, kept flickering. Even after we changed the bulb, my room got colder. Every night, between 2 and 3 a.m., I'd wake up drenched in sweat. Freezing. Mark stopped talking to me. He barely looked at me. But I caught him one night, standing in front of the door. Just standing there, not moving. I said his name. He didn't answer, didn't flinch. When I stepped closer, he whispered something so quiet I almost missed it. It liked being seen. Then he turned and walked away like nothing happened. The next night, I heard it again. Not footsteps. Dragging. Something dragging across the wood floor outside my door. I waited, barely breathing. Then knock. 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 3 slow taps. Not hard. Not loud. But I felt them through the floor. Like whatever was knocking wasn't knocking with its hands. I didn't answer, but I looked, cracked the door open an inch. The hallway was empty, but the air was thick, and it smelled like soil, wet, old, like a basement that had been buried and forgotten. I shut the door, slept with the lamp on, or tried to. At 3:17 a.m., I heard a sound that shook me to my core. Laughter, childlike, but not joyful, high-pitched, echoing, hollow. Coming from the other side of that door at the end of the hall, I grabbed my phone, started recording. I wanted proof. The screen stayed black, but the audio, I played it back the next morning. I heard it. A voice. Do you miss her yet? I don't know why it said that. I hadn't told anyone, but a few weeks before I moved in, my sister had died. Car accident. Sudden. Nobody knew but me. That voice shouldn't have known, but it did. Later that day, I confronted our third roommate, Jamie. She finally cracked, said the room had been sealed since they moved in. The landlord told them, don't open it, don't ask. It's part of the deal. They had always just accepted it. But now it was open, and things were getting worse. I begged her to leave with me. She said yes. That night, we packed quietly. Didn't speak. But as we were walking past the hallway one last time, the door opened. Not fast. Just enough for us to see something inside. A chair. And someone sitting in it. But they weren't facing us. They were facing the corner of the room. Arms limp, neck crooked. And standing behind the chair was a second figure. Tall, thin, head tilted, smiling. But the smile was on the wrong side of the face. We ran, didn't look back. Jamie moved out that night. I followed the next day. We didn't talk again, but 2 weeks later, I saw her name in the obituaries. No cause of death listed, just gone. And I swear, that same night, in my new apartment, at 3:17 a.m., I heard 3 knocks. I moved 3 times in 2 months. Different cities. Different buildings. Always top floors. Always well-lit hallways. But every time, 3:17 a.m., 3 knocks. Sometimes on the wall. Sometimes on the closet. Once, and this nearly made me lose my mind. They came from the mirror. I covered it with a sheet. Next morning, the sheet was gone, folded neatly. And the words "let me in" were written in the dust behind it. I threw the mirror out. Didn't matter. The next night, I found a door. Not a full door. Not physical, but in the wall. A dark rectangle, outline pulsing slightly. Almost invisible unless you were looking at it the right way. And once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. I knew what it was. It had followed me. That thing. That room. It didn't stay in that house. It attaches to people, to attention, to curiosity, and now it wanted me back. One night, I stayed up watching it. Didn't blink for hours, and just before dawn, it opened. Inside wasn't a room. It was a copy of my room. Same bed, same furniture, same photos on the wall. But everything was off. Colors inverted. Shadows too long. My own face on the photos was missing its eyes. And sitting on the bed, perfectly still, was me, but not me. He smiled when I looked at him. Didn't move, just smiled. Andrew raised his hand slowly to his lips. I slammed the wall. Screamed. Punched the outline. But the next morning, the carpet where the door had been was damp. Like something had passed through. Since then, I don't sleep. I leave lights on. I cover mirrors. I stack furniture in front of closets. But no matter what I do, the door finds a way. Last week, I got an envelope in my mailbox. No return address. Inside was a photo of me, sleeping, and behind me, barely visible, the door, open, with a hand reaching out. And yesterday, his voice was shaky. He whispered, "It's open again, but this time, it asked for you by name." Then he hung up. I haven't heard from him since. And last night, I woke up at 3:17. There was a door in my bathroom wall. Open. A chair in the middle. And someone sitting in it. They were facing away, just like before. But this time, there was a second chair. And it was empty. Waiting. I'm not going to sit. But I don't think that matters anymore. Because it's not asking me to enter. It's coming through. Thanks for listening to Whispered Ghosts. If you've ever seen a door that shouldn't be there even once, open it. Don't touch it. Don't even ask. And whatever you do, never answer when it knocks. Like, share, subscribe. Because some stories, they're just looking for the next person to hear them. Good night.